lovely ladies and gentlemen. I am Jason. This is the Rusted Knuckle Garage. In this episode, we're going to start one of my dream cars, a 1972 Chevrolet Chevelle. Now, what are we doing to this fine piece of American history? We're going to make it look nicer. We're going to repaint it, make it all one color, put Go Fast stripes on it, as you've seen in the previous sneak peek of this car. So far, it's going well. Nope. No, it's not. We were originally just going to sand it, do a little bit of body work, scuff and shoot it, stuff like that. No, not going to happen. I can't let it leave that way. We're going to re-prettyify it. Yeah, we'll take a walk around her. We'll see what we got going on, what we've done so far. All right, my lovely little animals, here's what we got going on. We took the bumpers off. You know, there's one laying over there. So what we're doing here is we're going to give this car back its body lines. So I got the gaffer's tape. I like to put that on the body line so then when I block it all out, I can reform that body line, make it look nice, beautiful, gorgeous. And this body line on the car, I have no idea where it's going, but you can see you kind of need a surfboard to go down the side of that puppy. So we're gonna get that body line back in it. And as you can see, it's going well. That's supposed to be on there. Oops, door missing. But this thing just weeble wobbled so much. We had to do pins and bushings in her. Currently waiting on that roller bushing because, well, just a example of how bad it was. Take a look at the roller bushing there. That is not supposed to do that. So, yeah, that's garbage. We got the front end all aligned. We got the hood fitting nicely. Power. Oh. I got the hood on there. We got her fit nicely. We got her nicely around the headlight bezels and headlight bezels. Hood fitting good. We got this side of the car all smooth and straight, not panels popping out and stuff like that, because before, I mean, this panel gap was way off and popped way out. We don't want that. We want it to smoothly transition to the other panels so we can block that all out, make it look nice. And this side, I don't know what's going on with that body line, because it's kind of right here, and that's there, and then it disappears, which that's supposed to be a nice body line, like the piece of tape you're seeing on the other side. That's what we got going on. We got some cracks in the lead lines and stuff that we got to fix. So we're going to get that stuff done. We're pulling the trim off the windshield and stuff like that. Yeah, it's going great. That's not supposed to be there. That's supposed to be on there. So let's get her going, huh? Yeah, sounds good. What we're going to focus on is we're going to take the trim off the car. I know. I already took it off. I get it. But don't panic. Calm down now. I did film it. But before we move on to that, quick little educational tip here is how these are held on. So most people don't know the correct way to take this trim off of these cars. Now, early 70s, mid 60s, early 60s muscle cars had this style of stainless steel trim. Now it is very easy to bend it. So pay attention in the video. Clip. Thing. Now, you could get the fancy tools that are made for trim removal. No, you don't need that. You can also modify your tools to make them work. No, don't do that either. And now the final one, I know you see it sitting there on the hood. You can get them anywhere. I personally prefer the Harbor Freight ones. A right angle pick. That's all you need. That's all you need how to do this. And I know you're sitting there, you're going, but how? I'm going to show you in the next clip. With that being said, I know you guys know that I like to put just a scotch of education in my videos. So, we're going to move on to that, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is to remove that trim. Moving on! All you need is your fancy Harbor Freight Special Akon. So I already got it started. I'm sorry I started without you guys. I know, I'm just a prick. It's got these little clips on the back. They kind of look like this guy right here. So it's got clips like that. All that holds this trim on is that guy right there. So a lot of people, when they take these clips off, they try to like yank on the piece and then pry that over. No, don't do that. So this piece of trim is what we're gonna take off. Take your pick and you slide it underneath there. So you find out where the next clip is, which is over your under finger here. You get that in there. And then just pull down. And it releases it. So now, in case you missed that, I don't know if you did, but you find that next clip, so you gotta find it, and then pull down. And then, when you take the trim off, it comes off completely undamaged. Undamaged is very important. You want it undamaged, because if you want to reuse this gorgeous stuff, you don't want it damaged, do you? So, now, I know you guys remember earlier in the video when I told you that we had cracks on the roof skin and the lead line, like that guy there. So what we decided to do was a little bit of investigative journalism. And if you are somebody who does body work like this, stop. Stop doing body work, please. Do me a favor and stop it. I'm gonna show you why. Let's take a little look-see-poo, huh? So we got the Chevelle here. Oh my God, look at that. So here's the factory lead line. They just ground the ever-living, whatever you want to call it, out of that. And they pack that hole full of filler. Don't do that. Don't do that. This car did not deserve this. It didn't. Stop it. Also, the old school way, the old cave and pave, Noah's Ark. That is a golf ball. If you do body work like this, stop. Just stop. Hire a professional, because this is not necessary. So we're gonna fix that. We're just gonna cut all of that out, and we're gonna make a piece to weld in there. So now, usually the correct way to fix this is going to be to put a full quarter on the car. However, this car does not need full quarters, as it had quarter panels put on it. They were halves, but it had quarter panels put on it. This is not that bad. We can just cut a patch, fabricate it and weld it in there, and fix all of whatever this is. Okay? Not a problem. That's what we're gonna do. We have the Chevelle back together. We got the door on. The door works awesome. We got all the panels aligned. We got everything doing what it's supposed to be doing. Now we're gonna start blocking it down for some paint. We're gonna get this all smooth and nice, because it's neither one of those right now. It's not. It's really not. I'll show you some blocking footage and what I do when I block the cars for making them sexualized. This is just a paint job. This is supposed to be quick, scuff and shoot. It's not. Not at all. We got some metal work to do. You'll see some of that stuff as well. Let's just dive in head first, shall we? Well, I suppose I'll show you what I did sexualize the gaps on the car. We'll do that. So no, she wasn't really given much to work with this car, because we're not blowing it all apart. We're not going the whole nine, stripping it down. We're not doing that with this car. So we got this door gap. Relatively uniform. Really nice. Good. Got this door gap. Relatively uniform. Pretty nice. Okay. Still got that to do. But we got the door on. We got the hood fitting. How it should be fitting. Everywhere. We got this side. This is nice. Flat. Good. Yeah, that's how we want it. Like, you want to be able to sight down that car. You want to be able to... Yeah, that's what I like. All right. I got to adjust this striker so it goes in a little bit more because we're kind of... Boop, 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 boop. Don't want that. I'm going to fix the quarter because you can see a giant bulge in it. Not bad for an average white male. Let's get this car into what it was supposed to be the last time it was painted, shall we? Look at that. Oh. Okay, kids, in this part of the episode, I'm going to cut this out. Going to do a little fabrication magic. Oh, what's that? You noticed? Yeah, trimmed up the old sexual caterpillar there. I'm going to get these patch panels cut out. Then I'm going to make some. And then right before we weld them in, show you what we got. The proper way to quite possibly fix this. I think it's the proper way. That's how I've been doing it for years. We're going to move on to the metalwork side of this, and we're going to wait for the other surprises on the other side, because I know there's something like this lurking over there. We're going to do the right thing, and we're going to wait to even think of going over there until we're done with this situation over here. So we're going to get the glass covered and ready for throwing sparks at it. That's what we're going to do. Most people be like, oh, just take the glass out. I don't want to. This was supposed to be an in and out job. It's not. But we're going to make it so it lasts, because that's what we do here. Allegedly. All right, ladies and genitalia, we got the patch fabbed. Got everything underneath here fixed. Now, we need to weld this piece on there. And when you're welding pieces on, you want to leave yourself just a little gappage there. You want that weld to get penetration. So a little gap, not gonna hurt nothing if you're a decent welder. And most importantly, if you know what you're doing. If you do not know what you're doing, do not do it this way. Lap it over. All right, let's try this. And then, once you're done welding the top, make sure this has time to cool. Don't keep going on it. Make sure you can touch it. Nice little gap throughout the top of the panel there. And then you want to make sure she's not warping on a guy there. You want to make sure that that stays nice and crisp. And we'll do the bottom here. We'll just push down right there and we'll work our way over. And then the patch will be basically fashioned in there. Then the other patch that we got a lot of patchwork to do in here, but we'll get all that stuff done. And then the other patch that we put in here, we're going to connect it to this factory seam. And then we're going to take this patch, we're going to lap it over that, and then we're going to cover that whole seam. Because that's what you do here. You use that, though. Use that. That's a lot of strength right there. You want that. So we're going to get the bottom welded in, and there she is, fully tacked in. You want to make sure that it's nice and cool before continuing. And now you're just going to fill in the gaps between these spot welds. You do not stop here. Weld it in there solid. That's where you get all the structuralizations. Where you get all the structuralization in the panel, that's what you want. So I'm gonna fill these in, get this all ground down, and you probably won't even see that patch panel in there no more. But yeah, make sure she maintains the shape. Focus. Focus. You wanna make sure that it maintains the shape of the roof with no warpage. Maintain that shape. Then it makes it really nice to grind out. And then, when you're done, you should have something that looks like that. Not all warped. Look at that, folks. That is what you should have. Good metalwork makes for easy bodywork. Remember that. Remember that, kids. Well, we got her all patched up in there. We got the patches put in there, bead rolled nicely. Got that patch in there. So we got the patches in her. So now we got to put that piece over that on the quarter panel. And we're going to follow the same situation that we followed up here. So we're going to do that now. Hello. We're still on the Chevelle. I know what's taking so long. Well, it turned out to be a little worse than we expected. You! Yes, I'm talking to you. With the spray paint, you might remember this car. I got some words for you, man. Don't do this. Prep the stuff before you spray it, because then the next guy, like me, like if you want to get Backyard Body Guys a bad name, you do you, boo-boo, but knock it off. We got, spray paint on the bezels here, and we got non-prepped paint underneath. I'll get you in here and I'll show you what I'm talking about, but you put down the spray paint, you're fired. No more, don't touch it. Do it again, and I don't know, somebody else is going to be mad at you, okay? We'll get you in here, show you what's going on. Sucks. So what I'm doing, essentially, is I'm taking lacquer thinner, red Scotch-Brite, and scuffing off all this black paint, because underneath it's not even prepped. It's like still shiny. You see the shininess right there. I don't like that, so now I have to fix it. So put it back, just put it back. Getting ready to get her in primer. Okay, so now that we have the Chevelle in primer, now what we do is we put this tape on here. So then we can get our body lines right and sleek and ugh. So now we have this on here. We got the quarter all blocked out. That's good to go. Now we're going to do the door and we're going to do the fender. We're going to block it all out. We're going to make sure it looks nice. I'll wet this down so you can see what I'm talking about. So when you're all blacked out, when you're all blocked out, we're not drinking here. You should be able to put some shine juice on there and see how relatively straight we got the car. Once again, only going for a driver. We want to drive it, not fear it. So we put that on there. And then once we shine it up a tickle, we can actually check for the imperfections before we actually move on to paint. So this is looking pretty good. Pretty good. So essentially what we're doing here is we're starting with a 120 grit on a hard block. A couple of different lengths, because you got a couple of different lengths of panels and areas you need to get into. Then from there, we go to a semi-hard block on a 220. And then we finish her off with 600. Not finished off yet. You can kind of see the straightness in the actual car. This is usually the phase where people know they're in over their head when it comes to a restoration. Because once you finish the bodywork and you get all that blocked out, then you get to block it again with the primer. And then we'll actually finish sand this all the way up to 600 grit. And it'll be ready for paint. That's how I do it, anyway. This may not be the right way, but this is the most cost-effective and not waste of time way. We don't really use that. And when it comes to this stage, you're going to sand a lot of material off the car. This floor was clean before I started. So when I say a lot of material, I mean a lot of material. So what we're using is a super build primer, poly primer on the cars. And we sand all of that to our finish grit before we paint it. So this car will be painted with this exact primer on it. So we only prime the car once, we only block the car once, then the car is ready for paint. It's the best way because you're not wasting your money and your time. You do everything one time, well, twice. You do your body work first, then you do your primer work. But you do everything once, and then you paint it. And everything turns out beautiful. Just show you some thickness gauges here of how thick this primer truly is. This will all get stripped down to bare metal before we paint it, but that is quite quite the ridge of build there, so quite a bit of build. Here's the not so glamorous side of restorations that nobody tells you about. Taking these blocks and hand sanding the side of the car by hand with a block in two different directions. So you always want to go diagonally with the panel, so you're using the whole block, the whole surface. And then once you do that, you want to cross hatch it, and you want to go the other way. Haha! Reflexes of a cat! And you want to do that 4 times. So you want to go this way, once, then this way, again, and then this way, second time, this way, second time. And if you do it that way, if your body work is good, that's all it should take. 4 cross hatches, like that. Both directions, 4 times. If it's not good after that, should have spent a little bit more time on your metal and body work. So now, on here we have went through all of the grits, and we are ready for paint. Look at that. Look at that. It's just, So we went through all the grits on this, got it all sanded down. Got a couple of sand throughs in a couple of places, but not a big deal. Take care of that when sealer happens. But this is what it should look like when you are ready for paint. A lot of blocking and a lot of material on the floor. It doesn't really justify how much it truly is, but just this little, look at that, look at all that. So much. So now that a guy has spent about 7,486 hours block sanding, not really, more like 60, probably not even that much. We got her all blocked out. She's ready for paint. As you can kind of see in the camera, got a little shimmer on her. That's what we're looking for. That means she's ready for paint. All right, we're gonna final prep it, then we're gonna paint it. And we got some thick stuff we gonna put on it, bruh. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I don't know why I just did that, but it's okay. Make sure you keep your sandpaper close and your enemies closer. And then finally, get a new dress on her. But yeah, she turned out good. I'll get you in here so you can see what it's all like when it's all sanded out, like I did on the other side. Let's take a look at it, huh? Probably just dented it. As you can see that nice shininess on the panels. That's what you want when you're at your finishing grit for paint. She looks good, fellers. Looks good. And ladies, I got sandpaper sticking to me everywhere here. Look at that, huh? Let's get some shine juice on her, huh? I'm running out of shine juice, but we'll get a little bit of a shine on her so you can see what's kind of going on. You can see where it's kind of wet and where it's kind of not, but it looks good. Looks like I said, we're going for a driver. We want to drive it, not fear it. That's what we're after here. Evening, friends. We're going to get the sealer primer done on it, and then when we're done, we're going to actually lay out the stripes. We're going to get those masked up, and we may have a special guest in this episode, too. We don't know yet. Just be patient. So now we're going to seal the car. I've done that 1,000 times. You guys have seen me do it 1,000 times on the channel. It's no different, just a lot bigger area and not a lot of time to film. So we got to get going. And just like that, my bouncing baby boys and girls, we have it in sealer. We're going to sand a couple of spots of the sealer, not a big whoop. And then we'll put the stripes on her. Traps are next. More after this. Get you on in here, see how the car turned out while it's in sealer. Oh, it looks so good. Like I said, not really going for a show car, but she looks pretty darn good. I must say so myself. She looks pretty darn good. Okay, so now we got that done. We just got to sand a couple of spots on top of the fenders. No big deal skis. I'm gonna put the stripes on the trunk and on the hood, and that'll be next. And we're back. We got the stripe color done. Beautiful black. So now we're gonna mask off the stripes, show you what that looks like in the next clip here. And then we're gonna paint it red. Ruby red. got the strips masked off. Let's get some of that pretty ruby red on there. Got the red on. Now next, we remove that masking and we'll take one more drink around the car. We'll take it out for a cup of coffee and then we'll see the stripes and then we'll clear coat it. That's next. Oh, little pieces. This is a pretty color. We got her all unmasked. Here's the unveiling of the stripe puzzles. Oh, that looks nice. Look at that. Isn't that nice? It's so nice. I like it. Except for the deck lid. We had a little bit of problem on a deck lid, but not exactly emotionally ready to talk about that just yet, but it'll get taken care of. And just like that, the clear coat is done, but it looks beautiful. As you can see, I was touching it. Got my little dick beater prints in there. We don't want that. Now we just sand it, buff it, make it look prettier, get all the imperfections out. That thing I wasn't really ready to talk about just yet is that right there. We're gonna get that fixed right now. Won't even know it's there. Plenty there to rebuild, not a problem. That's from the stencil, as a matter of fact. So you see what happened was, the stencil that I bought, I had to apply and take off like 900 times because their lines were off as far as the deck lid. So I put the stripe where it belonged. After doing these cars a couple of times, we're just gonna go ahead and fix on that and it won't be a problem. Won't even notice it happened. It's the magic of bodywork. I think we did a pretty decent job on making her a driver. You know, that's all we're going for here, folks. We're just going for a driver. We want to drive it, not fear it. I believe I said that in here already, but, well, see, I told you we'd fix it. We got the sealer on there, got that all sanded down. Got the stripe masked off for the black. We just gonna spray right there. Not a big whoop. So we're gonna do that now, and then we'll see when it's done. As you can see now, we have successfully repaired the stripe. Now we can clear coat this. We're going to mask all this off. And we're going to spray that wonderful coat of clear coats on it. Never underestimate the power of artistry. As you can see just behind me live, we are masking up this deck lid so we can clear it so it matches the rest of the car, huh? Sounds like a good idea. So that's what we're going to do. So as you guys know how we like to Trizac things. Like I said, we might have made it look a little too nice. You can actually see the front fender and door body line right there. Look at that. Now, we finished sanding the rest of the car. Give you a little shot ski from this side. Nice. Just gotta finish sanding the hood, stripes, and yeah. Well, here it is. The moment I've all been waiting for. This is the car. This is all that work we put into there. You guys remember that? Yeah, it was fun. Nope, no it wasn't. A new ruby red paint job on it. This succulent, beautiful little piece of machinery here. We put the emblems on. Just an ass load of body work. This is how it turned out. This is what we got. So conclusion time. What did we do? A lot. We stripped her down. She was all spray paint. You guys remember that? It was all spray paint on the front fenders, door. We repainted the backside, made her the same color. We added those racing stripes for 15% horsepower. It's usually how that works. Goes faster as well. We put it completely together because when I got it, it wasn't complete. We put these 18-inch US mags on her. Isn't she precious? So, what we did was a lot. We made it look pretty. She's ready to go home. You know what? We'll see you on the next one, so make sure you keep those knuckles rusty.